Welcome to the 2021 Schall Consulting CPG, Retail, and Grocery Industry Award Show. This is the pinnacle of award shows that are light on tradition, well, kinda, as this is the third year that I've done it, also peppered with randomness and heavy handed on personal bias. Few things to know before we get started with the 2021 edition of the Schall Consulting Awards. Categories were selected kind of at random, but the winners were thoughtfully selected by a prestigious panel of one, this guy. So expect to get your learning on when I explain the logic behind my choices. If any of the winners would like a trophy, please contact me and I will write something nice on my business card and frame it for the perfect headquarters entryway display piece. If you wanted to see the winners from 2019 and 2020, I'll leave the links to that content in this content's description. But without further ado, let's give out some totally random CPG, retail, and grocery industry awards. So, how about we start off with some mergers and acquisitions specific awards? So, the best acquisition by a strategic for a better for you CPG brand is the Coca-Cola company acquiring the remaining stake in Body Armor for $5.6 billion. I like this deal because Coca-Cola has familiarity with the brand as it acquired 15% of Body Armor in 2018. Coca-Cola needed to have a stronger long-term competitor in the sports drink category to fight with PepsiCo's Gatorade. This is the second major deal with beverage entrepreneur Mike Rapoli, first one being Vitamin Water, Smart Water. So Coca-Cola has confidence in the business structure to create long-term value. Coca-Cola also gets a sort of an acqui-hire of Mike Rapoli that he will also collaborate on Coca-Cola's still beverage portfolio. Now, the best acquisition by a private equity firm for a better for you CPG brand, and that was L. Catterton acquiring Kodiak Cakes. L. Catterton is no stranger to buying and selling in the CPG space. It sold Plum Organics to Campbell Soup Company. It sold Cholula to McCormick and Company. It still owns Kettle Chips and Sweet Leaf Tea. The at-home breakfast frequency has spiked because of the COVID-19 effect, and Kodiak Cakes is now available in 30,000 retail locations, and revenue has increased more than 50 times since 2013 when the brand appeared on the television program Shark Tank. Next award I want to give out is just the overall best M&A activity in the CPG space. This is coming from the Hershey Company. They picked up two great assets in 2021, Dots Pretzels and Lily's. With the Dots Pretzel purchase, this feels to me like a Skinny Pop 2.0. When Hershey's bought Skinny Pop, it was also a low household penetration, had limited marketing, had strong margins, and the ability to add new pack sizes to appeal to consumers in new channels. And then with the Lily's deal, it signals to the market that Hershey's knows it must give shoppers more choice, in particular with treats that have a better for you halo. Now, I want to shift this into like retailer specific awards. The first one is going to be the best grocery retailer of the year is going to be Ahold Delhaize. There is a lot to like about this year's performance from the US segment of Ahold Delhaize. It completed the acquisition of the pure play online grocer Fresh Direct, which has been a key part of why the company has had massive online sales growth in 2021. Giant Food launched Ship to Me, an online marketplace. The Giant Company opened a state-of-the-art automated e-commerce micro-fulfillment center, while the rest of the grocery industry divests its supply chain vertical integration. Ahold Delhaize announced strategic plans that they will make more than 85% of its U.S. supply chain company-controlled by the end of 2022. Ahold Delhaize accelerated its goal of reaching net zero carbon emissions 10 years earlier than it previously targeted. So overall, just a really great year. Now, shifting this out of grocery and just into general retail, this award for the best retailer of the year is going to be Nike. And this is actually a repeat from 2019. I got a lot of shit for calling Nike a retailer when I did award them that award in 2019 for best retailer of the year. But maybe now everyone will give me a pass since the COVID 19 effect proved that Nike's business model is so much more than selling branded goods through its wholesale partners. Nike continues to give a masterclass in its omni-channel approach as they optimize their wholesale network by cutting some partners, but deepening relationships with others, like with linking loyalty programs together with Dick's Sporting Goods. They have best in class mobile apps and a digital shopping experience that is seeing 40% growth in the North American market. And that's a year over year perspective from a really strong 2020 number where they had to shift a lot of their business online. Nike's also quickly moved to ensure it would be the metaverse market leader in the space by acquiring the NFT virtual sneaker company RTFKT, or just known as Artifact. Now, shifting this towards the internet, the best internet retailer of the year is going to be Roblox. And some of you might be kind of scoffing in the fact that is Roblox even a internet retailer? And that could be debatable if you're defining internet retailers by maybe its old standards, but it's time for everybody to embrace the future. So how is Roblox a retailer? They generate substantially all of their revenue through the sales of its virtual currency Robux, which players can use to purchase virtual items sold by the developer and creator community on the platform. These virtual bookings now have a run rate of over $2.5 billion dollars and is attracting major brands like Nike, Ralph Lauren, and Chipotle. Daily active users are now getting close to surpassing 50 million. And the platform is also aging up as the over 13-year-old group is growing at double the rate of the younger cohort. Roblox might have captured the zeitgeist of the 2020 restricted living period, but the metaverse company has proved it has staying power in 2021. Now, I want to talk a little bit around experiential store design. So this year's best experiential store design is going to be Dick's Sporting Goods House of Sport. I'm of the belief that most retailers in the future will need to utilize their physical stores for brand experience to acquire customers instead of just for transacting sales. Retail of the future will be about high production experiential brand experiences. And Dick's Sporting Goods did exactly that with their House of Sport concept that they launched in 2021. We are talking about an adult amusement park for the sports enthusiast. Experiential store elements in the House of Sport include an outdoor turf field and track, a 32-foot rock climbing wall, golf pro shops that include simulator equipped golf hitting bays, a putting green, a batting cage, wellness services, and equipment services like baseball glove steaming, racquetball stringing, and tune-ups. I want to talk about an individual, maybe a CEO of the year for the retail community. This year, I'm going to give that award to Todd Vassos of Dollar General. Talk about a guy that rarely gets the respect he deserves in the retail world. Dollar General has added close to 1,000 more store locations year over year in 2021. That's a massive amount of additional staffing in this tight labor market. So he's been able to do that in a really effective way. They also introduced a new store concept called Pop Shelf that attacks the lower end of the retailers like Walmart or maybe Target by pricing home decor, seasonal goods, and health and beauty items at or below $5. Dollar General has also gotten deeper into the fresh and packaged grocery merchandising with the expansion of its DJX small format neighborhood stores in urban areas and remodeling thousands of his existing stores to include cooler systems. I also believe he's navigated the supply chain situation better than almost any of the largest retail brand names in the United States. Finally, I want to kind of shift this into Better For You CPG. The best Better For You retailer private label for the third year in a row, I'm going to give this to Target's Good and Gather. Target gained meaningful market share in the grocery merchandising category this year, and much of that has to do with the amazing private label Good and Gather. Good and Gather became Target's biggest private label by assortment and will do $2 billion in sales this year. Last year was all about expanding into more specialized premium offerings, and they built on that this year with a plant based line that includes more than 30 different products across categories. Now, the best new Better For You beverage launch of the year is going to be Ghost Lifestyle's energy drink. Now, this technically soft launched in Q4 of 2020, but realistically, it hit the market in 2021. It expanded quickly from the original four flavors into seven, with more than half of them coming from officially licensed flavors like Warheads, Sour Patch Kids, and Bubblicious. Based on just some scan data, the product did somewhere around an astounding $40 million in revenue over the last 12 months. This is with a throttle distribution plan that will open up in 2022. Now, the best overall Better For You beverage brand of the year is going to go to Super Coffee. And the DeSico brothers had one hell of a fucking year. The company raised $106 million in its Series C that brought the valuation of the company at somewhere around $500 million from Q4 of 2020 to Q2 of 2021. Revenue grew at 106%. It had probably one of the most epic advertising campaigns when it took out a full page ad in both the Seattle Times and the Boston Globe and challenged Starbucks and Dunkin' to steal its recipe to make a more healthy product. They also had a funny collaboration with Poopery to close out the year because their mom always starts their day with a super coffee, followed by a trip to the bathroom, followed by a 5-mile run. Now, shifting to food, the best new Better For You food launch of the year is going to be Brave Robot. This technically launched in the back half of 2020, but it didn't start seeing regular merchandising until 2021. Brave Robot's retail distribution has now increased to over 6,000 stores nationwide. Brave Robot utilizes its parent company, Perfect Day's animal-free milk protein, which makes this technically a plant-based product. Perfect Day uses science and a little bit of technology to remove animals from the equation without sacrificing the indulgent taste and texture of dairy. Brave Robot ice cream has become the number one growth driver in the plant-based ice cream category and has now sold more than 1 million pints since its launch. And then the overall best Better For You food brand of the year is Midday Squares. I always love the tagline they use that says, "Everything a chocolate bar isn't, everything a protein bar wishes it was." They are building the modern day Hershey Company, which, by the way, they happened to turn down for an acquisition this year. Midday Squares saw its revenue blow past $10 million in 2021. And you might be saying to yourself, Josh, there's bigger brands that are doing that weekly, and I totally get it, but size doesn't matter in this award show. They faced intellectual property battles with big CPG that tried to distract them, dirty tactic to really kind of slow down their growth. But they documented it all into a piece of content that further galvanized its customer base. This brand is ready to hit the steep part of the skate ramp in 2022 that might even see the brand look to IPO. And then the final award that I want to give out this year is the most powerful Better For You CPG trend of the year. I'm going to give this one to mood boosting. 48% of global consumers claim to be more conscious of their mental well-being this year. Mental health was in the spotlight more than ever throughout 2021 as consumers struggled to balance their professional and personal lives while ongoing anxiety surrounded the pandemic only served to heighten that stress. Across food and beverage CPG new product launches, targeting mood support, adaptogens have been seemingly tossed into everything. That drove mood support to being among the top best-selling product categories in the US natural channel this year. I just want to end on some final thoughts. What did you think of my award winners? Do you have a different idea for who should have won your kind of categories? I'd love to hear about them. And you can do that by engaging with me on any of my social media accounts that are always in the contents description. If you enjoyed this YouTube video, hit that like button to support me. Also, help me get to my short-term goal of 2,000 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me if you did join me on that journey. But we need to fix the fact that more than 70% of you that are watching this video right now aren't subscribed to my channel based on YouTube analytics, and that makes me really sad. But just want to thank you guys again for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.